Hello, everybody. Why isn't my camera crooked? Hold on. All right. Friday Night Live. We're gonna have some tea. And today we're gonna talk about overwhelm because I've been getting some messages on it, but I'm also gonna show you what I do at night. And then we're gonna get into discussion on this to make you guys more productive and efficient. And by the way, I started a broadcast channel on how to get massive shiznit done. So make sure you join it because we're going to be just focused on productivity and all those things we're going to cover today. So I typically just do a spoonful. This helps just like get really good sleep. It tastes really yummy. Kind of tastes like a Starburst. You guys remember Starburst? So welcome if you're joining. We're going to spend some time here Friday, maybe like 10 minutes. And I'm just going to break down overwhelm for you, give you some strategies for it so that you can take it with you. A few announcements I will make. No, I'm not getting sponsored for telling you guys to drink this, but I do recommend this tremendously to my clients. They love it. I love it. It's just kind of like something to look forward to. And because you're drinking warm water closer to bed, you're not going to have to get up and go to the bathroom all the time, so it's not going to disrupt your sleep. Okay, so quick announcement. I'm doing a pop-up workshop July 1st for 3 hours. I rarely do these, but it's a 3-hour workshop, and it's to get massive shiznit done, teach you how to build out productivity schedule. To be honest with you guys, I know I've been going on super late, and that's because I'm still adjusting to my new schedule that I've built out for myself and still trying to figure out like where I'm going to fit these live streams in. And like kind of like when you first start to adjust your productivity schedule, you still figure out where things are going to get a home. So it's kind of like a plug and play for the first like 3 weeks. And then you adjust until you you go in that sprint mode. So is anybody feeling overwhelmed lately? Let's start there because I've been getting people say that. Let me take a sip. So good. You gotta try it. Okay. So today, let's get clear on what overwhelm is. When I first learned this, okay, let me get in the definition. So overwhelm means to be overcome by a strong and intense force, an emotional stimuli is a feeling of being completely submerged, overpowered by something beyond our control. It's a verb, and it means that we're struggling to cope or manage a challenge or demanding situations. I would describe overwhelm as feeling like you're so submerged into your whatever you're doing that you feel like you're almost drowning and you're just breathing. And I think of the mindset as like, I don't think I can handle this. I don't think I can. You've like literally reached a threshold and you're like, I don't know if I can keep up. I was saying yes to a lot of things in one season of my career. And I was driving to a charity organization. And I remember I was like so overwhelmed that I couldn't understand what I was feeling. So I'm driving there and I'm tapping. So I'm doing some EFT work and I'm tapping. And I'm like, even though I'm feeling like I can't keep up with all of my responsibilities, I still completely love and accept myself. Even though I don't feel like I can keep up with these responsibilities, I completely love and accept myself and do this tapping. And I'm like, all this stress, all this pressure. I mean, I had like one hand on the road, but I'm like, all this stress and this pressure, like, I don't know if I can keep up with my responsibilities. So when you start climbing the ladder and you become, you reach new levels, there will be new challenges that you are brand new to. And so you are in this adjustment phase of being able to almost like keep up with yourself, like keep up to your future self that you're just getting to meet for the first time. So overwhelm could feel like that. And then I looked up on here because I am starting to use some AI, and this is a good time for me to help me practice because you still have to go through it and see if it's like legit, you know? So hello. Hey, Mickey, Lalani, Francisco, pretty. So then I asked Merlin, I said, what does it cost me to keep operating in overwhelm? And they said it could have a few negative side consequences, which is burnout, emotionally become physically and emotionally exhausted. Health problems can lead to headaches, sleep problems, digestive problems. You know, we don't think about how operating in a certain space can actually impact you, and then you don't understand why why you can't sleep, or you have sleep apnea, or you have broken sleep. And to understand, like, sometimes it's literally just overwhelm. I did a post today on my Facebook and I said, the greatest gift you can give your children and the greatest life skill you can ever achieve is learning how to process negative thoughts and emotions, including overwhelm. But in order to process them, you first have to understand them. It's almost like taking your negative thoughts and emotions and using it as information and befriending it. So it says health problems that could lead to digestive health problems, chronic stress. That's why I love my magnesium supplements, do help as well, you guys. And then we have, it can reduce your effectiveness. And we all know entrepreneurs and people striving for greatness, like efficiency, mental acuity, productivity is like really important to us. It says overwhelm can lead to a decrease in quality of your work. Feeling overwhelmed may lead to sloppy mistakes, strained relationships. It could lead to you feeling like neglecting relationships or lack of communication, irritability, distancing yourself, missed opportunities. When you're overwhelmed, you may miss opportunities for growth, personal career development. And it also says operating overwhelmness, as it says. Blah, blah. So that's what it could cost you. So what is it costing me to continue to operating in this space of overwhelm, of not doing anything, or not having a solid productivity schedule where even in your schedule, you time block your self-care? Like, have you ever built out a schedule where you're actually time blocking your self-care, time blocking your family time, time blocking even your breaks? And when you're not taking breaks, that will also lead to that overwhelm. Kind of like taking your days and turning them into sprints for more productivity. So then I was like, all right, if we understand what overwhelm is, and we put the emphasis and the focus on that, so what's the opposite of overwhelm? And I looked that up. I'm thinking like focus, like to be focused, but it says to aim for some, it said underwhelm. Underwhelm is like the opposite of overwhelm, which, to all respect, it's true. But I'm like, all right, well, what's the middle ground to it then? Because we don't want two extremes. And then this got me thinking, I'm like, most entrepreneurs and high achievers do have that extreme personality. And a big part of self mastery is really understanding and knowing all parts of self. And that includes your personality traits, your, how you operate, and understanding that most of the time, entrepreneurs will, and high achievers do have a very extremist personality trait. And it is like that all or nothing, that yo-yo, and you see that occur in multiple areas of life until you really learn to hone in and master thyself, right? So then it came down to, it said, which could also lead to underwhelm, could lead to disappointment, which I had a session with somebody the other day, and we did a tapping session where I was learning EFT work and 9 steps to process negative thoughts and emotions. And what got brought up was, originally that person thought it was more guilt. And I could tell, like, with the tonality and the body language, that wasn't really the core, because sometimes we could get to something, it could be like the stepping stone to something else. And because your body's your subconscious, it's going to bring you that healthy time out to bring whatever it is to the surface of that conscious awareness. And that's why that, like, self-realization, that self-honesty, that self-acknowledgement is really important, because that's when you can really start to shape shift things. We're shape shifting our belief systems, we're shape shifting our mindset. And if we're specifically focusing on the overwhelm, we would want to use something more of the middle ground, which they said here the word was whelm. Whelm is to be overcome, covered completely. That doesn't make sense here. It says, whelm can be used to convey a sense of balance and satisfaction, which I personally don't believe in balance. I don't teach balance. What I teach is priorities, because in every different season of your life, you're going to have different priorities in your life that are going to hold high value as you sustain the other areas in your, like, overly full life box. And so sometimes, like, for example, if you've neglected your health for a long time, that might be a priority. and you're going to have to give it more time and your attention as you're sustaining the business that you've built and the relationships that you've acquired. But I don't believe in balance. I believe that things are needed during different seasons, more of your time and your attention, because you can't be in two places at the same time. And that, I do believe, is a main trigger to feeling overwhelmed when you're trying to work on everything at the same time. So really understanding like priorities. And I think that's when we're starting to get into the solutions of overwhelm. By the way, you're joining me now. I did today finally start a broadcast channel, and we're specifically going to be focusing on how to get massive shiznit done, productivity, overcoming procrastination, like all those fun things to get you efficient and productive. So make sure you join the channel. Okay, so, and another thing too. No, that's not strategy session now. Hold on. At first, I want you to get to understand it, and then we're going to get into the solutions of it. You feel me? Also, if you guys want to drop some comments below, like, please go ahead and share. Okay. And so the opposite, I got to dig a little bit deeper of like the opposite of overwhelm, but I honestly believe that when I'm in the experience of overwhelm, I'm like, how do I get out of this as fast as possible? So I'm talking me as a professional, because I do get overwhelmed. I do have human emotions. I do, but like my goal is like to get out of them as fast as possible. And so what I do is I just get focused. So I truly believe that the opposite of overwhelm is focus. And if you break down the acronym of focus, I like how they gave us a few of them here. It says focus is follow one course until successful. And then there's another acronym for it, which is finding opportunities to create ultimate success, fully optimize commitment until success, focus on constantly updating skills. And then there was another one that I don't think it makes sense, so I'm not even going to bother with it. But I really like the follow one course until successful. When I was going through yoga teacher training, I don't know where the book is. I typically have it right here. It might be in my room. But in the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, they talk about the drisni. I believe that's what it's called. I think I failed like trying to speak that language in yoga. They laughed at me a lot, but I got the concepts. That's all that matters. So dristi, I believe that is. Correct me if I'm wrong. If there's any yogis in here. And it was like literally you would be in a pose and you would stare somewhere and you would get into like one point of focus. And when you're in this one point of focus, which is typically the focus is the breath. So the whole practice of yoga, which yoga just means a union with your higher self. And the way to get there is through breath control. And so the one point of focus is the breath and controlling the breath. So whenever you're feeling overwhelmed, if you, of course, can always come back to the breath, because the breath controls the rate at which your heart beats. And if you can learn to control the breath, I know a lot of people talk about like, breathing heavy, breathing fast. But if you're in this like panic, if you're in this anxiety, if you're in this moment, the best thing you can do is to slow the breath down. So you can clear the fog and you can have that clarity that you need in order to like know what your next clear step is, which actually that's what I talked about yesterday in the live stream. And one thing actually today that happened was I was going to go live and I just left a 2.5-hour business meeting. We ended like around 9. And I was like, I don't want to do this live stream. I'm being real with you guys. I'm like, I don't want to do this live stream. And my commitment was to go live every single day. I was like, I don't want to do this live stream. And I was like, all right, I'm just going to go take a shower. I'm going to get ready for bed. And as I'm in the shower, I'm like, no. I'm going to do it tomorrow. I'm thinking, I'm going to have everything outlined and it's going to be fine. And I'm going to start tomorrow and I'll do it tomorrow. I don't feel prepared. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm not ready. And then another part of my mind, which I've trained, is like, you're going to do it now. You're never going to be ready. It's never going to be perfect. And that's really what you teach people. So you have to go out and practice what you preach. So I sucked it up and here we are now and talking about it as well. And so the best thing you can do is just say like, I'm just going to do it now and I'm going to show up. And it took a few minutes trying to organize it, went on AI, kind of got the notes organized on how I wanted to structure today, and then that's what I did. And the reason too is that if you keep breaking your promises to yourself and your commitments that you are even saying out loud to other people, it shows that you're not a reliable person. And this is where understanding your non negotiables and your core values come in place. And this also helps tremendously with resting your head on the pillow at night and actually feeling proud of yourself that you did the damn thing, even if something small, as like if you said you were going to prep food and go grocery shopping and start meal prepping, like do it. Do it, or at least order it and have it ready, or make that list. And so let's talk about solutions and strategizing. So now we understand, what's the opposite of overwhelm. I feel like the word is focus, but maybe you'll poke around and find something else. And it's following on course until successful. So you laser in on what is the next clear step. And it's like, oh, my last thing that I did say I was going to commit to that I haven't done is to go live. And sometimes you just need to take a break, and it's called segment intending. And for me, and they say like it's very powerful actually. Just go and take a shower. Like go and take a shower, and it really gives you that healthy time out and a time to breathe, decompress, and like get right back in and perform. And so that was like one simple strategy. But one thing I want to share with you guys, and you guys might see this a lot, but this is a commitment contract. And for the next 90 days, actually started in June. So we're about maybe like 7 weeks into 3 weeks into the commitment contract. And this is really my focus for the next 90 days. And I wrote 3 core goals that I would like to achieve in the next 90 days. Now, if the goals, when you put them out there, you're only going to know once you do it. You're never going to know exactly how something is going to go until you actually do it. And I do feel when you're taking action on a goal or a target that that overwhelm starts to dissipate the more that you show up for it. I do truly believe that because, like I said, I don't just talk about it, I am about it. And here I wrote having a live event. So we are pivoting a few things on there, but we're still having a live event in September. I had that 2-hour meeting on that today. And then doing the TED Talk, and then completing the book, and then taking those big things and breaking them down, because these are really heavy goals to achieve. And so when you're signing your commitment contract, by the way, you can get this in the link in the bio, or also I put it inside of these live streams for like LinkedIn, Facebook. I got you. We're doing a live 3-hour workshop July 1st. It's going to be, the link is also in the bio, but it's tanyacoliver.com/get it done. And I rarely host live workshops, but it's going to be an online live workshop, holding your hand, taking you through the course. If you get the course now, it's a self-study, so all the materials are already in there, the playbook, everything. You can start now, but we're going to do it together. And in here, this is free. So this is free for you guys. But when we're talking about overwhelm, if every day you're looking at this and you're reminded of your big goal and you're overwhelmed by them, and you start to break them down into smaller goals and you put them in your schedule and you time block them and you treat them like an appointment, you're going to feel more capable, because then it becomes practical versus this like big overwhelming thing that I'm not going to write a book in a day. I mean, I could probably write like a chapter, but I would need like a completely like empty schedule. Even with a completely empty schedule, I don't want to sit for that long to write the book, but I could if I wanted to. I actually have 80 pages printed out of a part of my book that I still have to go through. That's my book. One chapter of the book. So in here, so this is one of the books. I printed it out. So actually, this is a perfect example. Okay. I'm super in my book. Okay. It's probably got 200 pages in it, and a lot of like taking things and like making sense out of it. Because completing my book is on here, on my focus chart, right? And if we're talking about the opposite of overwhelm is to focus, taking your goal and breaking it down into smaller tasks. I was like, okay, I can't look at this one more time in my Google Doc. So what I need to do is, what can I do? Oh, I can print it out. So maybe that is my task for today, where I went and I printed it out, and then I could just spend like 20 minutes just like looking through it. Yesterday we ran the inner circle and I used my book, because we're focused on life wheel and life auditing and getting clear on our relationship and our belief system around each area. And then like I went through a few pages of the book as I was teaching it, because it was actually, all of my teachings are inside the book. It's a playbook. And I taught it inside of the inner circle. So that was like taking a really big complicated thing, breaking it down, and then also serving my community. So that's one thing you can do. If you guys have any suggestions, drop it below. Let me see if I have anything I wanted to share with you guys. I talked about some announcements with you coming up. We specifically focused on overwhelm. We talked about the opposite of overwhelm, which is focus. We broke down the acronym, follow one course until successful, taking complicated things and breaking them down into smaller tasks, and focusing in on and focusing next clear step. So that's about it. I'll just quickly sum up the announcements for you guys just joining, which is, what's up, Lola, Rossi, Maria, sorry if I pronounced your name wrong. Get your commitment contract in your 90-day accountability calendar. These are free inside of the link. Also, we have a workshop July 1st, a 3-hour workshop where I will be coaching you. It's an a la carte. It's a self-study. You'll have the course forever, and I'm going to create a Facebook group for us. As soon as you get it, you can start right away and then join us next Saturday. So make sure you sign up for that, or send me a message if you're interested, and I give you more information on that. And what else? So I want to tell you, I think that's it. Just have a blessed up night. Get some rest. And I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. That's it. That's what we did. We achieved it. All right, guys. Hope you do something that you're proud of for yourself. Even if it's one that you committed to and you haven't followed through, when you sign that contract, you stay committed, because this is what builds self-trust. This is what builds up self-worth. This is what builds up self-credibility, because at the end of the day, you have to be able to feel good about yourself and be proud of yourself. And that's that. All right, guys, time for bed. Love you all. I'll talk to you tomorrow. And hopefully I'll see you in this workshop in July. All right, bye.